hard hitting, it's fun to watch because it's the fastest sport.
You start liking it, and then you ended up loving it. It's a lot more fun than watching football.
Ice hockey is a sport like no other. The physical strength and endurance it demands of even the most experienced players seems second to none. With high speeds and hard-hitting body checks, there's a high chance of injury, particularly when these are executed poorly or illegally. But injury and penalties are not the only hazards out on the ice. As the saying goes, I went to a fight and a hockey match broke out. Fighting is seen in hockey games worldwide. In fact, it's a fan favourite and has been a part of the game for decades. However, for those less familiar with the game, a sudden eruption of this kind between two or more players can seem shockingly out of place.
My name is Kevin Bergen. I currently play for the Braid Clan Ice Hockey Club in Glasgow. I play forward and I can cover on defense when we have lots of injury. Everybody in my village or in the town that I grew up in plays hockey. It's a very fast-paced sport. Lots of things happening. You can't only be on the ice for a minute and a half because it's so intense. Lots of scoring. It's very physical, so it's full contact sports with fighting, obviously.
Kevin started playing hockey at the age of 3 and quickly became enamoured with it. At only 6 years old, he had found his way into a team of mostly 9 and 10-year-olds, and by the time he was 16, he was living away from home and playing in the junior league. Eventually, hockey brought him to Europe, and he has since been drafted into numerous teams in France, Switzerland, and the UK. Known for both his ability to fight and play, he understands from a very hands-on perspective why it's needed on the ice.
The fighting is there to police things on the ice. So ice hockey is a game that you play and you have a weapon in your hands. You have your hockey stick. You can basically slash somebody anytime you want, and then you slash somebody, you get a 2-minute penalty for it. But then once you get out of the 2-minute penalty, you know that the policeman on the other team is going to come and say, hey, your stick, if you don't keep it to yourself, the next time you do it, I'm going to be there punching you in the face. So fighting is there to keep dirty hits from happening. To keep checking from behind happening, to keep the dangerous thing out of the game, because they know if they do something like that, then they are going to have to answer by fighting.
Not limited to live games, fighting has found itself a popular culture phenomenon, with its use in the sport glamorized by Hollywood films such as Slapshot and, more recently, Goon. These films follow how hockey teams of that era would hire individuals purely on their ability to fight, despite their lack of skating or hockey skills.
You can tell a team that has a really good fighter when their guys don't get hurt. I've had over 100 fights on the ice, and I never once in my life fought off the ice. The one that sticks out in my mind is the fight started really bad for me. I got punched like 3 or 4 times right off the bat, and then I landed a heavy punch and knocked him completely out. He was on the ice for 5 minutes unconscious, and I was in the penalty box thinking to myself, oh my God, I hope this guy's okay.
A player's perspective is clear. It's a part of the game. It maintains order and can drive your team to a victory. But what about a fan's view?
Okay, hi, my name's Lester Brenner. I'm owner or manager of the London Legion Recreational Ice Hockey Club, and I'm also one of the head coaches of the Haringey Junior Ice Hockey Club.
I'm Tom Hewer, and I'm the general manager of the London Legion Ice Hockey Club.
I can see its place in the game. I understand its history in the game. I can see how it can be used to motivate a team to get their act together if they're in a bit of a depression. And also I can see how it's used to defend players who might be less able to defend themselves. The smaller, more skilled and agile players tend to get defended a bit, fought for by the bigger, more powerful players. So I can understand that.
Yeah, there's an element of retaliation. If someone, has hit another player in a dirty way, then there's a retaliation that might take place by somebody on your team. you know, that can lead to a fight. But whether I enjoy the fighting, that's a difficult question. It's just kind of part and parcel of the game. But I know as a player for many years, it's a way to get rid of your frustrations, you know.